Alright everyone, welcome back. I'm going to talk about my SMP, Survival Minecraft multiplayer server, and just some of the builds that have been done in the past, actually 2 years. I had totally forgotten to do one last year, and I was like, well, I might as well cover all the builds that have been made in the past couple years now. So I'm going to use our rail system, which is probably the largest continuous rail on our, or rather build in the entire server. It stretches many thousands of blocks. I honestly don't know how long it is, but the first thing I'm going to show off and that we've completed in the last couple years is this build right here. So I probably, for this video, oops, come on. For this video, I'm going to do little time lapses or whatnot going forward. So we're going to start off by going to this first build in a moment here. This first build here is a giant pantheon. There's nothing inside of it that's particularly interesting. There is something underneath it, which I'll show you in a moment. Let me get a better view of it. So this build was made by myself and another player, Raider. I forget his last couple digits in his name, but anyway, it's a very big build. It had a lot of quartz. I think it took... I forgot there's another player here, actually. I think his name is Jetsa, or Jets. Also helped contribute to this build. But it's mostly made of sandstone and quartz, as you can see. It's huge. I think getting this quartz took like several days of just gathering gold so we can trade with piglins. We figured that was the best way to get quartz automatically without too much effort. Otherwise, you have to go and mine it. But honestly, that's a very inefficient method to use bartering and gold, and it took just several days of collecting gold through our gold farms to get this amount of quartz. But it is a cool build. Eventually, it's going to hook up to our spawn over here, but right now it's just kind of like a standalone. You can see there's a little path down here that kind of reaches it. When you come in, you see these little two statues. Now, there's nothing really in the center. It is bright here, no mob spawn. But at the end here we have, I guess, what we'll call Atlas. He is the Greek god, or Titan, I believe, who holds up the world. And he's at the front as to where the rail entrance is from. Down below there's an auto furnace, as the signs say. And the auto furnace, there's nothing really pretty about this part anymore, but it is a giant hole. In fact, actually, I believe Raider created this hole, and I was like, we need to fill this up. We need to do something with this giant hole you've made in the ground. So he built this on top of it. So it is kind of cool. The furnace is a bamboo furnace, and I don't really have anything I wouldn't smelt right now, but it works pretty simply. Now, one thing that's kind of interesting about this is when Minecraft produced the auto crafters, is I had this manufacture bamboo planks from the bamboo, so that way it consolidates the fuel that's used. There's also some limitations with the strict bamboo furnaces, but we're not going to get into that right now. So yeah, that covers this build. So I guess I'll go on to the next one, which the next one I will show off is actually going to be this museum over here. Alright, so we're going to start with this build now. So right here, this is the train station. Nothing particularly exciting about it, but it is a mock or a miniature kind of this current build. It is unfortunately raining, which kind of sucks. I don't know if I have a bed here. I might. Let's see if I have a bed in here. This build that I'm about to talk about was built by myself and Maple Straza, primarily. Maple designed it, and I did design for the gardens, and did a lot of the clearing out of the area. So, it's actually supposed to be a museum of all the blocks that are possible to collect in Minecraft. So if we go inside, I don't think we've actually filled it out. We recently completed this in a couple months ago, about 2 months ago. It's pretty large, and it has a lot of red terracotta, which is great because I made my base in a terracotta biome, so there's lots of that. As you can see here, there's supposed to be blocks that we need to place and put on the item frames. We have not done that yet, but that will be something we look forward to doing. There is a dragon egg in the middle. That's already there, I guess. And yeah, so it's not filled in currently, but it will be filled in eventually. I also plan on adding a miniature build area to this. There's actually multiple floors to this. So yeah, this is supposed to be an aquarium at some point. More patches, be up to the current day, and axolotl pen. I don't know how there's supposed to be a staircase. I forget where the staircase is, to be honest. I think it's in the towers. So let's go over to the towers. And by the way, if you're annoyed by these sounds, these are the sounds of the plugin or the mods I use for vanilla Minecraft. Yep, here is a tower. So you can go up the tower. So you don't have to have an elytra to get up to this thing. It just takes a little bit of time. We got a chandelier and a dome up top. And one of these areas, these are probably for more patches, but one of these areas I'll be adding a like miniaturization build, and I'll show you what that is in a second. Here's a balcony, and we can see some parts of the garden. So at this point, I'm going to go and fly around, so that makes things a little easier. So the garden is pretty simple. It's just the same design repeated over twice, or 4 times rather, in different corners. It uses a variety of terracotta and kind of bushes and plants to kind of showcase it. So it has designs, and it's much more easily seen when you kind of look at it from above. So we can see the patterns of these, like, I guess we'll call them apples kind of shapes here. There's also this rotunda area, which I kind of wanted to mimic off of the World War II monument in Washington, D.C. It's not, anything like that, obviously, but it's kind of inspired by that a little bit. These kind of images here are actually created by a plugin I have called Image Maps, which I also built a little small plugin to assist with it for uploading from Discord straight to the server. So if that interests you, it's kind of cool. I like it. And each one of these kind of planks has that, or rather, sorry, I guess we'll call them canvases. I don't know. And I actually used AI to generate these little images. ChatGPT for the win, right? But anyway, they look good. I think they look good. And they're kind of cute. It's supposed to be kind of like the World War II monument. If you go to the World War II monument in DC, you'll see every single country, or no, sorry, not country. Every state has almost like a wraith around it, just like this. So now for the miniaturization project I was just talking about, we do have a plugin installed that allows you to miniaturize your builds. So this is an example. This is the build, this rotunda area, completely miniaturized and put on a block like this. And it's pretty cool. It's nothing crazy, nothing super fancy, but it is something that's nice to have, and eventually I hope to do that to all the major builds on the server. So with that, I guess we'll go on to the next build here, which will be this one right here, which is a really cool build made by Raider. There's no rail to it right now. It doesn't serve any functional purpose, but it is a super cool build. I honestly am really shocked people could build like this because it's so hard for me to do this, to do humanoids. But here it is, in all its glory, which is just amazing. I just took a screenshot of it because it's so cool. It's supposed to be like, I guess, a woman? I want to say it's a woman, with like an angel. It's extremely impressive, being able to design stuff like this. I honestly don't know how people do this because it's so hard for me to make anything that looks remotely natural. And he does that so well. I think he is using a plugin called, or not a mod, a plugin, but a mod called Axiom to help design this and make these kind of trees. and stuff like that, and I probably do these wings and angels and whatnot, but it is still just extremely impressive to me. I like these boulders too; these are cool. So yeah, that's one of the builds that was built this year, I believe, or certainly within the last 2 years. Another one here is the lighthouse that he made. And you can see it's actually like a functional lighthouse. It literally operates. These are also, once again, just really, really cool that he's been able to accomplish this. I honestly don't know how the internals of the lighthouse work. I'm sure I could figure it out, but that's definitely some complicated redstone in order to get a clock going like that to kind of transition the redstone lamps like that. I wonder if there's an inside. I don't know. It looks like there is. Okay. Very cool, very cool. I've never actually really been inside here. Oh yeah, there's like a... We turn the light off. Oh. Yeah, this is just pretty impressive. I like how my mod is like having the wind blow even though I'm inside. It is actually interiorly decorated, which is really cool. I assume there's nothing in these chests. I would highly doubt it. But that's cool. Yeah. Looks like there's little areas for every, I guess, some living in the lighthouse or operating it. An area down here for books. This is like a library almost, maybe a school, something like that. Ooh, look at this area right here. This is very cool. Ooh, there's like a crane, which, putting down some cargo. I guess a ship would dock here. Now I'm just gonna ignore some of the parts of the build, but that's okay. Yeah, I mean, this is... Oh, look, there's a little dock. Yeah, this is just a really, really cool build that he's made. Oh, and he put a... actually, I don't think he put that underneath. I'm guessing this was already a coral. Otherwise, it'd be really impressive if he also added a coral reef underneath. That would be kind of cool. Yeah, it's just like a flat bottom. But still, really, really impressive. Tire ring, bench, park bench. There's a whole, like... The crane even has, like, looks like a back end to it as well. That's really impressive. Very intricate design, and, one of the cooler looking builds on the server for sure. So yeah, I guess that covers that build relatively well. The next one I'm going to show off is going to be some of the builds over here. These are probably also some of the more impressive ones. I'm going to go fly over there right now, so I'll be right back momentarily. Okay, as we come into the view here of these builds, these are some really, really huge things and really impressive. So this first one here is made by Maple. She made this colossal tower that is really intricately designed and kind of just awesome to look at, honestly. So we go inside here. It has like an interior and just incredible, absolutely incredible what it looks like from the inside. Just as incredible as it looks from the outside, in my opinion. You also could actually go up it. You can go up the staircase like so. So I'll do that. That's really impressive of her too, to design things that aren't just like elytra based. Like I always think of like, oh, I have an elytra, I don't care, I'm just gonna build however I feel like it. I don't really think about like, oh well, how does a player get up there without an elytra? And she thinks about that, and it's kind of funny at times because I'm like, huh, I guess I don't really think about that, even though that seems very obvious and intuitive. But anyway, I think all right. So we've approached like I think the first layer. Like their first floor, I guess we could say, besides the ground floor. And yeah, it's just really cool. You can go up further, but I'm going to skip the rest of the staircase there and just kind of show it off. There's some pillars outside. You can see the other build that I'm about to go to in a second. And yeah, I mean, I think there might even be another, yeah, there is, yeah, up here. This is like the top of the dome. It's actually like a dome encased on a dome. as you can see, with these like really cool beams and stuff like that. And none of this is actually shown on the outside, so this is all like interior decoration, I would call it. Obviously, it's meant to like look like the tower is supported by its own weight and whatnot. So yeah, this is just really cool. Looks for some things here to get out, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. By the way, placing buttons like this takes forever. This is so annoying to do, but she did it, so good for her. Okay, following up with this one, we're going to show this way less impressive build that I made. Some of the people who build on the server are way more creative than I am, to be honest. But this is meant to be a little bit of a practical build. So these are a bunch of elytra cannons. And if you don't know, elytra cannons are a cool new way of traveling in Minecraft. They point in all 4 directions, so you can go pretty far out with each one of them, a few thousand blocks apiece. So, you know, kind of cool. And this is a truncated hexahedron? I forget exactly what it's called, but it's something along those lines. And it's got a design, you know, I guess we call it that. Compared to the other thing, it looks pretty pathetic. But, you know, it's okay. It's alright for what it is. It's mostly meant to be a practical place where you can use an elytra cannon and go out really far distances. And as you can see, like, it has its design of, like, you know, kind of similar to, if you've ever seen the movie Oblivion, kind of similar to the massive spaceship that's in the sky for Oblivion. So, yeah, mostly a practical build, but fun little design on it. It does have like some kind of rings underneath it actually here, which are meant to make it seem like it's levitating. And this will go around pretty much a much larger garden build, so a lot of this is kind of barren, but it will be eventually kind of replaced and put into, you know, it will look a bit better in a much bigger build, of course. The next thing we're going to show here is just not really show much of it, but it is this warp frozen hellscape, I guess we'll call it. It is a... Let me just turn my field of view up a little bit. Snow on the bottom, and nether crimson biome on kind of on the sides of it here. This used to be just like a straight up cavern or I guess valley. I don't know, something along those. It's just all terracotta. This whole biome is terracotta. So it used to just be terracotta and a little hole. And now it's completely terraformed. And these are the kind of builds that I really like to do. I really like doing like terraforming and gardening kind of stuff, since I just like the natural beauty of things in Minecraft. And but I don't really come up with like these super complicated designs like this. This is very complex to build. So I prefer building things like this. So this is what I did. And this is part of this larger garden. And as part of this, I have a video I have a video about that one and about this one and the cube. Now that I think about it, these walls kind of encase the garden. There's nothing really particular to see here. They're not kind of complete yet. They're supposed to be like lights on top of these little towers eventually, but it did take a while to build this, and it took a long time to get the resources for this. I kind of understate how long these builds take. They take many months. You know, so actually this one took a full year, and so did this one. This one right here is 33 Thomas Street. It's a building in New York City. It's a brutalist building, and I like it. And it's interesting because it is the Long Lines building in New York City, meaning there is a bunch of like the information and data coming up there. And as someone who's really into that kind of thing, it's kind of a cool building to think about. That's like, wow, they just have like thousands of kilometers of Ethernet cables potentially sitting there. I'm not exactly sure what they do, obviously, but it is just kind of interesting building, and it is a skyscraper. It's not meant to be any type of scale or anything like that. It's just meant to kind of look like it. And yeah, it's the centerpiece of these 2 tower builds, effectively. So, yeah. It's also... has a nice little bottom here with some gardening and stuff like that. This eventually will be like water fountains. I'm not sure why I haven't done that yet. I like also doing textures in my builds, as you can see. Like there's different blocks making up the texture, which makes it look, I think, good from a distance. Like especially if you come out back to this asteroid, which I built many years ago. it kind of looks like, oh, you know, like this, it's not one uniform texture. It looks a little bit more like a real building. So from a distance, it looks pretty good. Inside, there is an interior, and this actually, I made this build kind of off of a game called Control. If you ever played it, it's a game about like paranormal activity. And it's actually about a like secretive spy agency. Not really spy agency, but something of the source, a secret agency. And so the design is kind of inspired off of that with these like red carpets, massive megastructure monuments, chandeliers, courts everywhere, you know, a little office decor, some coffee and stuff like that. And then these giant banners, which I'm trying to kind of make it like look like a spy agency in a sense, right? Of like, oh, this is it's supposed to be like an eagle. It's kind of hard to make eagles and stuff like that in Minecraft when you have a very limited space. But that's kind of the idea here. And then you have these two worlds. You have the overworld and the nether, you know, so it's made of these two little balls of planets chained to the ceiling, which is also pretty cool. Now, there is a special thing, a part of this build that I haven't talked about yet, and you can't reach it from here, but we could go reach it right now, which is a music box. And not just a music box in Minecraft, but a, like, straight up will play a song. So because this build is spy-themed, you actually can go down and here's the music box, and the theme that will play is so that's the idea, at least. Oops. Oh, anyway, I kind of broke it, but that's okay. Oopsie. It plays a James Bond theme, in case you're wondering. In case you don't know what that is. But anyway, that's this build. And it's pretty cool. It took me like a full 6 months to build this. I don't want to say this was pretty much all of 2024's work. Was this? Okay, next thing we're going to show is the dam. Now this one took a really long time as well. I want to say most of 2023, and it is a colossal build. It doesn't look like it, but I want you to think about the difference in the water level here. Look at this water, and then you look at where the dam water is. Doing that itself took many days of like actual work. It is very difficult to push water up in uneven surfaces. I used to do it. I did it. There's a time lapse on my channel about this, and I did it using ice cubes, and kind of just like doing like one tower of ice cubes and then a space and a tower of ice cubes and a space and a tower of ice cubes and a space and so on. But that only kind of works when you have very even surfaces. When you don't have even surfaces, it doesn't work very well. So I had to do a lot of kind of like expanding of the water with what you call seaweed. I forget what it's called. Kelp. Sorry, kelp. But yeah, that is the build. There's also a cool part of this, which is that there's a conduit, which took a while to get, but, you know, not too bad. And as part of the conduit, there are all sorts of interior underwater builds here. So, like, here we have this, like, skulk pit. This is the deepest part of the build. We also have, like, a ruined area. We can see, like, the patterns and everything like that. There's actually some, I forget what they're called, drowned firing some things at me. This here is an internal self-made coral reef, and that's really cool as well, just because like this whole area, by the way, was just like a very shallow valley that didn't really have much in it. It was very barren, very ugly, didn't really look very interesting. Here we also have some, I guess we'll call them, I forget what they're called exactly, but amethyst clusters, or not, they're not called amethyst clusters, but like amethyst rocks, whatever. They actually kind of come outside of the underwater area too. And I actually was inspired to do this by another creator, I forget his name, but he made some YouTube channel videos on a hardcore world, and he did something like this, and I thought it was really interesting, really cool idea, so I kind of duplicated that a little bit. Here we have like a area that's kind of like a arch, and I like this. It's kind of neat. It goes into the water pretty deep. And then there's a ravine here, which I actually think this is a natural ravine, because I don't think I would have digged that far down. But anyway, yeah. Oh, also here, there used to be a railroad here, but we got rid of it, and we kind of left some of the remnants behind, so that's kind of cool. And then there's a shipwreck, of course. You gotta have your shipwreck. I actually think these, if they're based on the daylight, they will turn on the lamps, but that's not that important. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, so the water is enclosed by the dam over here, and it's also enclosed by the railroad over here. I actually I had a time where I wanted to do like a canal of sorts, where you could, like, the water level could change and stuff like that, and I think I might still do that someday, but it's not exactly high priority because it's not really a usable waterway. This is way more for decoration, but anyway, you can see this wall here goes into this little garden behind the stadium. Over here we have a basalt valley, which is just a big ravine, big trench that I digged and filled it up with basalt, blackstone, and magma cubes. It's really big, and this took the longest to fill up with water just because of how uneven everything is, and also the magma cubes kind of make it really difficult and really hard. So yeah, it's just a nice build. It fits in with everything. The final touch here is actually all this grass. All of this grass and stone that is made up here was placed replaced terracotta. So all of this is unnatural. None of this was here before, and that's why you can see it kind of like abruptly cuts off. Eventually I want to terraform this area too, but that's going to be a couple of years probably. But yeah, this is effectively why I want to do the garden, which is what I've been working on for the past year or so in this area, is because it just looks very abrupt when it cuts off, right, this whole area. And but it is very interesting, very cool, I think. You can see it even cuts off like right here. It's like, ooh, it just cuts straight off. So that's kind of fun. But yeah, all of this is unnatural. It's all been hand placed, terracotta mined and then replaced with dirt and stone. So there's probably some holes here or there when Enderman have picked up. Yep, just like this one right here. I don't think I have anything I can replace it with, unfortunately. But I actually disabled Enderman griefing because I was so annoyed because I kept finding holes in the dirt here, and I'm like, well, what's going on? And yeah, Enderman, of course. So with that, I guess we could talk about this balloon here. I forget what it's called exactly, but this is something made by Raider, I believe. It's kind of cool. It's a nice little touch to the dam. Just added to it a little bit. I didn't really remember him building this, to be honest. I just kind of came in one day. It's like, oh, there it is. So yeah, that's kind of cool. I think the next thing we'll go and talk about is Maple's builds over here. So we can actually take the railroad again to get there because it is connected. And I believe this will be the last thing that I will talk about on this trip. I don't know if there's anything else. Actually, no, there is. There is one more thing I'll show, but it'll take me a while to get to. So anyway, at this point, I'm going to just ride the railroad to Maple's drop, please. So before I go on, I actually wanted to show a build by a man named Verilyn. That's his gamer tag, at least. I actually haven't been here in a while, and it looks like he had made some additions, actually. Did not know that. But, yeah, so I haven't seen him or talked to him in a long time, honestly. So, but that's unfortunate, but he did make a really cool base area here, and underground, and it's actually really, really cool. So we're going to go see that right now. I actually don't know how you get under. Okay. So he made a really fat, just awesome underground base that I don't honestly go to very often because it's underground and you don't see it on the map, but it is really cool. First off, you got this like giant water pillar. That's pretty neat, as is. And then you've got this like insane, twisty, viney, paths here that go all the way down to the base. I think to almost bedrock, or perhaps bedrock. I'm not sure exactly. They changed where bedrock spawns, obviously. So this is just all that's really impressive. It ends right here, and another spiral staircase. He really loves the spiral staircases. I'll give him that. And now we are here. It's not complete, as you can tell, but it is just incredible. Honestly, like the intricate designs, the patterns just matching everywhere. It's so huge too. It's also an item storage. I don't know actually if he stores items. I guess he does. That's cool. It's so massive, and I believe he was actually putting a pattern on the ground here for a dragon of some sorts. It's kind of hard to see from right here when you're this low to the ground, but it is just really cool. Everything that's been done here. Look at these. Look at this design. It's like an underground Aztec temple with like this. We call it like jade-looking pillars and stuff like that. Really awesome. Yeah, I mean, super cool that he's built all this. I haven't seen him in a while. He comes back, but yeah, still it's just really impressive. So yeah. Whew. It kind of makes me sad to think about how pathetic my building skills are compared to others. Like, these people are just awesome and amazing. And this is actually why I love opening up my server to others, because I can just see really cool builds, and I get to enjoy them and get to own this world and share it with everyone else. So it's awesome. So at this point, I'm gonna go back up here to the surface and go to Maple Strauss's capital city, I guess we'll call it, and that will be the end of this video, I believe. All right, so we are now at Maple Strauss's capital city, and it is quite the city. It is actually more impressive than anything I've built, for sure, in terms of choreography and kind of keeping up with the keeping the patterns all going right. So as you can see here, it is very big. A little nice, cute lighthouse, little town outside, some walls, a castle, tavern. There's honestly so much to see. It's kind of hard to see everything. You kind of have to spend a lot of your time here just looking at things. But we'll check out this visit. I think this is like some kind of church, I'm guessing. Some kind of church. Perhaps not. I don't know. Maybe just like a manor. But yeah, I mean, everything here is just very well done. Like, very well thought out, too. Maple's definitely this kind of person who's like built everything creative and then comes in and puts it in survival. And I definitely agree with that too. It's just I don't do that for everything I do. I kind of think of it like, okay, abstractly, what can I accomplish, and then okay, what's this gonna look like, and then I build it myself. Without much thought. Look at this guy. This guy's doing a spear. So, oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna actually die to him. Maybe let's not do that. I think this is some kind of like training facility, by the way. This is by the looks of it. Anyway, let's not die to the zombie. That was actually really tough to even attack him. I've never actually faced a spear, so I should say. Ooh, look at this area. Look how cool this is. Little castle, tavern inside the castle, or a diner, dinner room, dinner area. Ugh. Dining room. some above stuff here. A library. Sort of ooh, look at these. Look at these black candles. So nice. Yeah. So much thought, so much work goes into this stuff. It's kind of insane to me. I guess I do the same. It's just I don't feel like it applies to me, you know. Look at these look at the closet. Just has some interior decoration as well. Like, who's gonna see this ever? Who's gonna see this? You know, you really have to come and want to visit in order to see this or and even know about it, right? It's like it's not super obvious to anybody that this even exists. So a lot of this is just for her, and you know, and obviously I'm sharing with everyone now, but it's really cool to see all this stuff. Yeah, wow. We're at the top of the tower now. I guess we'll go down. I wonder if these ships have any interior decorations. I assume probably very minimal if they do. Ooh, looks like they might. No, not really. That's okay. Still super cool. We'll go fly over here now. This is like some gardening stuff area. Take a look back. Yeah, lots of pigs. Nice choice of dirt here for that. Hauled soul. Yep. 10 animals. Looks like she's got a sugarcane farm. It's cool. Let's see what else. Some kind of outhouse. What's in there? I don't know. Cobblestone. Maybe she automans cobblestone. I don't know. That's weird. Look at this building. This is cool. What's this? It's a storage area. That's nice. That's nice. Very cool. Very cool. And looks like that's cool. And there's this area here. Oh, she also has a sword. Yep, there it is. Yep, nether portal sword. That's really cool. I like that. And then we have a nice... I want to call this kind of like a Mario-looking house. I don't know. It looks kind of... It's something I would see in like a Mario Nintendo game. You know? Look how cool this is. Nice little design. All the colors separated come in white. I believe that's actually the color they all make, right? If all the colors merge together, they make white. That's kind of neat. Look at this. Very cool. Very cool. And in the absence of colors, black. But anyway. Super awesome. All of this. We'll go check out the nether portal right now. Very cool. Very, very cool indeed. And it's just kind of in the backdrop of all this amazing stuff here. Oh, and there's a train. I didn't even notice that. But yeah. At this point, I'm going to go through another portal. I actually lied. There is one more trip that we're going to see here in a moment. And it's a build by Jetsa. Incomplete, but it's still really cool, so I'm going to show it. But it's going to take a while to get there, so I'm going to try to use the nether to speed this up. But anyway, this is Jetsa's building area. His base, I guess we'll call it. It's kind of neat. This part is his like staging area, I guess we'll call it. He's got a lot of stuff here, for sure. Looks like he's got, look at these villagers. Zombie villagers and whatnot. I hope they're not meant to be zombie villagers anymore. I don't know if that broke or anything like that, but let's see. Yeah, he's got some stuff here, all sorts of stuff. Not sure exactly what everything does. Looks like a villager farming over there. Maybe he makes little baby villagers. I'm not sure. But yeah, he's got some rail stuff here going on. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's making some baby villagers. So that's kind of neat. Yeah, so the most impressive part of his base is this, which is huge and made of quartz, meaning it takes a long time to build, of course. It looks like I'm some frame images right now. Enough. Stop. I'm gonna wait a second for the game to load. Wow. Okay, we are having big time frame issues. But anyway, inside here, there's a whole interior to this, and it's a mirror build, which, oh no, sorry, it's not a mirror build, but it is very close to being one. Super impressive, to say the least. I believe that looks like a giant gold facility, potentially. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but there's some kind of farm down there, and there's a ton of sugarcane everywhere. But yeah, it's huge. It's dig down very deep. Looks like he's got to finish some walls down there. But there used to be just this part. And this was already very impressive. You can see there's a ton of storage space. We got a bunch of these squids everywhere. and this kind of encased in this aquarium. And it's just very, very cool. Everything about this is really awesome. And this is the last thing I want to show on this tour. It looks like my game is dying here, so I'm not sure why. But anyhow, hey everyone. So I want to end this video with, obviously like a thank you to everyone who is, if you're watching this video and you're on the server, thank you for playing. It's really fun to see builds like this all the time. But I also want to end this with an invitation. If anyone, out there wants to join the server and you're at least 18 years old of age, please message me on Discord. It's MJB2K. It'll be in the description. And I'm always happy to invite new players to come join us and to come kind of make this world as cool as it can be. I think sometimes I hear people, they are a little overwhelmed, like what they see at spawn or what they can see from the rail system, right? It's overwhelming, and I understand that. Like it's like a lot. Wow, people spend a lot of time on here. But I really want to preface that most of my players don't actually build these colossal builds. They don't do that kind of work. They will play for a couple weeks at a time, and they'll take a break, and then they'll come back for a few weeks, and they take another break, and they do it again, right? And sometimes they don't come back at all, and that's totally okay. This is really about, this needs to be the only server you play on or the only thing you do, right? It's just a fun time, and you can make something that's going to last, right? The whole point of this world is that it's going to last forever. The server is never going to reset. It's never going to go down. I've got tons of backups. I have plenty of, space in order to host this server and continue running it for pretty much forever. It's not the, it's obviously... it's not the only thing the server is useful for me, so there's no reason why this would ever go down. So, I just want to... Oh, my God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, that's comedic. I'm going to have to fix that. Shoot. I broke someone else's build. The reason I came to this particular part was because I don't actually know who built this. This build at all, and that was very comical. But that's just kind of my point. This isn't supposed to be a job. This isn't supposed to be something that you have to spend all your time on. It's supposed to just be fun. It's supposed to be something you can have a good time on, build something that's going to last. You can look back at it in a few years from now, or maybe many years from now, and just say, hey, this is what I've been able to build. This was a lot of fun. It's so cool that I was able to do this, and I'm so cool that it's still there, right? So I just want to end with that. If you, I'll link the DIN map, which I'll show here in a moment, in the description, and also how to contact me on Discord. And if you're interested, please reach out. Thank you.